Okay, so we just got the best pick your own character full ever. This is Whole Cake Island Volume 2. And I mean, straight up, we have a Rumble legend here who is still quite usable, and she's still also really good in normal play. She has a great special. Not so much a good captain ability, but these are all the available characters. Brulee is excellent. She's a great option if you don't have her. We have Cracker, we have Strusen, Big Mom, who has a 6 plus and level limit break, Pudding, and then also Katakuri. So I don't think Pudding and Katakuri are really worth it. Katakuri, I mean, he might get a 6 plus soon, but overall, just the way this character is built, no matter what they do with his super evolution, I feel like he's not going to be the best character. He is very restrictive to the int type. You can just look at his special, it's very lackluster. All he really does is a very weak 2x attack boost and a 2x delay conditional, and you have to use him as a captain for his super type if you want to actually proc that delay conditional attack boost. This guy was good in PvP maybe like 4 years ago, but he's just trash nowadays. He might come back on in teams when he gets his super evolution, but for now I don't think this character is worth it whatsoever. Of course, if he's the only one you're missing, then get him. Pudding, I think this character is very interesting, but she doesn't really get anything from her level limit break. So if you want to just get someone for a level limit break, then I'd say this character is really not worth it. All she really gets is an extra turn of bind and despair reduction. She does have double special activation, so she can get up to a 6 turn of bind and despair reduction, as well as some decent orb manipulation and cooldown. The main thing with this character, however, is the fact that she can literally store buffs. She's the only character in the game that can do that. So if you want to use this character for, say, maybe with the new Saint Saturn, who, I mean, he doesn't really synergize well with. I mean, they're both int, so she is still boosted by Saturn's captain ability. But what I'm trying to get at is you could use Saturn's special to get a 10x attack boost, run double Saturn for that, and then you can literally store that 10x attack boost. And the good thing about storing with Pudding is that she doesn't actually remove the buff when you store it. So essentially you get 2 turns or 2 stages where you can use that 10x attack boost. And with a character like Saturn, where he has such a high cooldown of like 30 turns, storing it can be very valuable in a longer quest. So overall, I think this character definitely could see use plays, or like she definitely is useful in some way. She also has a decent support ability for Sanji, getting around special rewind, and I guess also special bind when you get inflicted with it. I have 100% used this in the past. So overall, I'd say she has some value. If you don't have her, she is not too bad. But only if you don't have, I'd say, Brulee or Smoothie. Actually, these characters are in order of how worth it I think they are. Actually, maybe move Strusen in front of Cracker. Cracker isn't that great. Big Mom is a bit of an interesting one. She does have a super evolution, as I said, and level limit break. She isn't really a good character still, but she definitely is usable, especially if you are a newer player. But if you are a newer player, I'm guessing you don't have Brulee, so you should probably just get her instead. Strusen and Brulee are both kind of special cases. Strusen is a Rumble character, which, I mean, most people should have by now, especially if you're a new player, because you literally get this guy for free. So if you have one copy of him, do not get him. You can give him posters to get his level limit break up, so you have his better Rumble abilities. But even then, I don't think this character is the best option in Rumble. If you don't have some other options for your side team, he's a great buffer because he gives you defense up and HP up, very important buffs. This is only available after you level him or break him. So if you don't have him with that buff, then his passive is quite lackluster, only giving you speed up and a bit of defense up. Of course, he's mono psi, and then his special is just gonna buff your teammates and then debuff the enemy. There's no damage here, but these are quite strong effects, and it's only 24-second CT. So I think this character is definitely a viable option if you don't have more of the meta characters for Rumble. But that's once again only if you miss him, which, I mean, the only people who are gonna miss him are people who are like mid game, who have started the game long enough ago where they didn't get this free Strusen. But then we have Brulee, who is probably one of the best support characters in the entire game, giving you a full board of matching orbs through block. Or not, it's not really a full board of matching orbs. She only changes block orbs, but still that is very helpful. She also changes the supported character's orb into matching, and then also gives them 2 turns of cooldown, which has saved me so many times. And this all happens on the final stage. But the best part is that she attaches to Luffy. For some reason she attaches to Luffy, as well as Nami, Chopper, Pickham's Carrot, as well as Katakuri. So the main players from the Whole Cake Island arc. So this is quite interesting. She's definitely the best, or a top 5 support in this game, I think. She might have actually fallen out of that because there's just so many new great support characters, but she's still definitely going to be a huge asset to your box. Of course, in normal play, she's trash, but yeah, that support effect is so valuable on any account. Smoothie, I think, is definitely the most worth it character if you don't have her. I also lack this legend still, so I was very pleased to see that this is a available unit. Her captain ability isn't that great. I mean, being immune to blow away. I think the only other captain that allows you to do this straight up is going to be the Straw Hat Celebration Frankie, the Dex legend. I think he's the only other captain that makes the crew immune to blow away. It's not the best effect, but it can be useful sometimes. She does give cooldown. She goes up to a 5x, which is quite weak, being 4.5x most of the time. So as a new player, she could be used as a captain, but most people aren't going to be using her for that reason. A special, however, is very, very helpful. She gives a chain boundary, which is one of the more rare buffs in the game, and that lasts for 3 turns, so you can get this over multiple stages. She also extends base attack boost, which is whatever, but then her utility is just really, really powerful. 6-turn utility is, of course, very much required for good characters these days, and she's quite old actually. But she reduces despair, attack down, and enemy damage reduction. These are all very, very relevant buffs and debuffs from the enemy and on the crew that you need to remove. And this is quite a unique combination of utility. Like, there's certain characters in this game that reduce a very niche set of debuffs or enemy buffs, and I think this is one of those characters. Not many characters reduce percent damage reduction, despair, and attack down. So 3 very prevalent buffs, and then also allowing us to get so much damage from the chain boundary. And there's also a base attack boost extension, so I think this character is definitely usable in normal play for her amazing special. She also has a very usable and strong support. If you get your orbs changed by the enemy, which happens quite often, you get block orbs included and a bunch of these other type of orbs on the supported character changed into a quick orb. And then you also get 2 turns of attack down reduction, which is the best part of this. Of course, it means that the only time you can really use this to remove attack down is when the enemy also changes your orbs in that turn, which is quite common actually, so it's really not that bad. And then we also have it attached to Big Mom characters, which is probably the most used character of this list. Katakuri and Cracker, not so much. But yeah, once again, just a very usable support that I can definitely see myself using. But then, of course, the main point is that she is a very strong unit for the quick team on a Rumble. She acts as a debuffer to the enemy. She reduces their CT by 50% for 2 enemies who have the highest cooldown. So these are the characters that are your enemies that are about to use their special. She goes in and she cuts their cooldown in half, so they won't be able to use their specials. And this is for 2 characters as well, so that's pretty good. She also does some damage, flicks the enemy with paralysis, and she does have a pretty decent passive, allowing us to get HP up, attack up, and speed up. Of course, no defense up, but that's still really good at level 6. And remember, this is a Rumble exclusive character, so she has 20 cost, meaning that you can use her, and then also have a lot of characters on your bench because of her low cost. Of course, GP is rubbish, but overall, I'd say this is the order of which you should get these characters if you don't have them. Smoothie, 100% great in regular content and also great in Rumble. You have Brulee, who has definitely top 10 support in the game and who is very versatile. We have Strusen, who is a viable option for the Psy Rumble team, but most people should have him by now. Cracker, I didn't really talk about this guy. He is still usable, I think, on some type of Rumble team, but he's really not the greatest option. Um, his special, even after level limit break, is quite lackluster. He just gives a weak color affinity, a decent chain boost, I guess, but chain boosts aren't the greatest buffs in the game. And then we also have some decent orb manipulation. Not too much going on there. There's essentially no utility besides, I guess, orb manipulation. His rumble stuff is okay, I guess, and then we have his support ability, which is actually pretty decent, I'd say. I haven't used this in a long time. I think the last time I used it was for GOPS Challenge 2 or something like that, which is like years ago. But it's still a usable support. Unfortunately, there's not too many good Katakuri characters right now. There is the Big Mom and Katakuri Legend, I guess. And then we have the Smoothie, which, I mean, could attach to this Smoothie, which isn't too bad. Of course, that would synergize very well, since this guy would remove the chain coefficient reduction and existing chain locks, and then allowing Smoothie to use her chain boundary effect. And then he also gives a chain boost of 0.7, which of course meshes well with a chain boundary effect. So these two actually go very well in terms of tracker support on Smoothie. Let me just take a look at what Cracker does for his Rumble stuff, because I think he actually is quite usable. Okay, so his level limit break. I know his level limit break is required for him to actually be decent in Rumble, so he applies special CT of level 6 and speed up to Slasher and Powerhouse characters. This guy is going to be mainly seen on Powerhouse teams, if I remember correctly. Um, and then his special 34 CT, that's quite a lot. He deals damage to enemy in a large range. Okay. Level 6 crit to Slasher and Powerhouse for 20 seconds. And then if you have below 50% HP, he gives himself special CT. Yeah, I don't really think this character is that great. There's just not much happening there. He doesn't really give any defense up. The kind of the buffs he gives, I mean, crit up, speed up, are kind of less important than things like HP up and defense up. And he just doesn't really do much in his special, especially with that high cooldown. So I'd say, yeah, Cracker isn't really the best option. Of course, if you're missing all these characters, this is the order I think you should prioritize them in. Yeah, Katakuri is just really not that good. I really hope he gets a super evolution. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you found out something new from this video or use this video to help you decide, make sure to hit the like button and comment which character you chose. I'm definitely picking Smoothie since she's the only character I'm missing here, and she's a great asset to my box, completing my quick team. But with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, and I'm out.